goodness. Going live. I'm live. I think this is my first live on YouTube, actually. I am chewing, but no one's here to see it. So, that's we're good. Cool. I'm eating a coconut chocolate macaroon. Cheers. So, someone has joined. Thank you for joining. I don't think it actually tells me who it is, but I do see comments. If you would like to make yourself known, feel free to stay anonymous. I am Illuminati Miss Dex, and I am doing 1111 readings. Just general polls, not doing too many cards. I started on Twitter, then I moved to Facebook, and then I was just on Instagram, and now here we are on YouTube. Okay. The message is, while they are different each time, I do feel like it's a building story. Okay. If you would like to go back and watch any or all of them, you can. They're posted everywhere that I did them, and it's at IllyMilly, ILLYMYLLI, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.com/IllyMilly. So you can go check them out. I saved YouTube for last. This was my 1111. Okay. But here we are. So I'm sure this is going to be a very similar theme to the rest of the night. We are talking about the remainder of 2020, what we are doing on 11/11, and what we hope 2021 to be is basically. Yes, the IG Live did get saved and posted. Just show you right now. Oh, actually, I never posted it. Thank you. I totally set my phone down, didn't actually hit post. Yes, it's posted. It's not on my timeline, but if you go to somebody's profile, they have the little, like, I didn't know this about Instagram, but yes, it'll be there in the little, you can't read that, in the little middle. Yes, IGTV. Yes, it's on IGTV. So, that all being said, gonna get right into it. Okay, let's pull some cards. Well, I was feeling sort of down. Asked my family doctor about what I had. I said, now, doctor, Mr. MD, doctor, oh, can you tell me, doctor, what's ailing me, doctor? She said, yeah. Well, you need all you really need. Good love. Got to have love, good love. Everyone got to have love, good love. I don't know why that song came to mind. It's still posting. Just so you know. It was a kind of like a loading bar. It'll be there. It's just my dumbass Android just needs a minute. No worries. Didn't we get Ribosol earlier? He just flipped up. We'll honor it. And I appreciate that. Honestly, I do. Infinite possibilities. That definitely came up in the other reading. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 1. And I might do a second draw. I did it on Facebook. I just looked at my timestamp and it was 4/26, which is my birthday. Oh, Sabbath. Oh, these are all face up. I was like, whoa, another face up demon. But I set the face down, face up. Okay. Looks like I just got 2 joiners, which I appreciate you both very much, whoever you may be, mysterious other person. Let's get right in. Got me lifted, shifted higher than the ceiling. Ooh, it's the ultimate feeling. Got me lifted, feeling so gifted. Sugar, how you get so fly. I'm gonna light another incense before I get too far. And I kind of want to do Envision Paradise. I feel like that's what we need to talk about. Visions of the future. Thank you for the update. Thank you. Officially, the Instagram live is posted on IGTV. Okay. So, okay. Got my incense going. Got the cards drawn, coffee drank. Let's get it, boy. We have here the Six of Discs. Okay. I love that for a few reasons. One, it's success, right? That's always good for us. Two, my Twitter reading started with the Seven of Discs, failure. And then my Facebook reading, it started with the Eight of Discs, prudence. Instagram, not so much. We went cups for Instagram. It was like a whole thing. I'm telling you, go watch. It was so much fun. It starts off really bad, but it was a lot of fun. But now we're back to 6. And even though it didn't come out in order 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 6, I'm glad to be ending on the 6 note because it is success, whereas 7 is failure. I love that. I have this analogy, okay, for my cards. There is another card, the 5 of Discs, and it's worry, okay? Someone else joined. Thank you for coming. 5 of Discs is worry, okay? And my analogy for that card is imagine you're a waitress and you have 5 plates that you need to carry to your table. And you're just not quite sure how you're going to carry these plates. You know you're a good waitress, and you know that this is your table that's going to make you money. But you're not sure that you fully have the confidence to get these 5 plates to the table with only 2 arms. You don't get a follow, right? You don't get shit. You just got to carry 5 plates in one trip and hope you don't drop it because these people still need to eat. And that's worry. That's the 5 of Discs. I know I've got this so many other times. I've been a waitress my whole life, but this time, I don't know, I'm nervous. What if I can't do it this time? Okay. 6 of Discs, which is what's here right now. Guess what, bitch? I'm giving you an extra plate. So you're going to have to get 6 plates to the table, but I'm giving you a tray. You got a tray, right? There's a tray. I love this card because I was a waitress for so long too. But I think that's just the best way to look at it. Are you quoting something, Miss Jupiter? Imagine you're a waitress. It's easy if you try. Yeah, so 6 of Discs, success. We had our trials and tribulations, right? We had a couple pitfalls. 2020 was rough. We talked about it all night long. Go catch up on the other readings if you care to know. But in the end, we have success, okay? Tray full of plates. Carry it with ease. Make it to your destination with no problems. Success. Yeah, so it's more than enough, right? Secure, stable, whatever, your money's straight. And even beyond money, are you okay, backtrack. I know I talk about John Lennon a lot, but it took me until you said imagine all the restaurant eating food in peace to understand that that was a Beatles reference. I love that. As for focus, I'm done with this card. We talked about it. Let's move on to Ribosol. And then we're going to just maybe freestyle like we did in the other videos. I don't know. Not much to say about the 6 of discs. We're good. We overcame shit, right? Ribosol has many qualities in common with the trickster gods of many cultures. He teaches medicine and plant lore to those he favors and can be warm and kind on occasion. However, he is often very cold and harsh, seeing humans as a bother and a distraction to his greater studies and works, and he is quick to disregard lesser beings as unworthy of his gifts and only worth destroying. I think this was on Facebook. Beware of excluding emotions for the pursuit of logic or genius. Take care not to invest so much in learning as to become cruel and unfeeling, okay? Don't be doing something to the point where you feel like you're so much better than everyone else that you can't empathize with people who are learning because, oh, I already learned it. Oh, yeah, I know. Been there, did that. Okay. I'm here. Can you help? You'll figure it out. Cruel and emotionless. We don't want that. You don't want to become so good at what you do that you lose sight of being good altogether. Right? So, battle of the ego, something just to keep in mind, something to watch out for, but especially in relation to career and work and etc. Okay. We got Haberrim. Cool. I don't really know anything about this guy. I don't know these demons very well, which is probably for the best. Got enough of them I'm keeping track of, The torch carried by Haberrim is not for decoration. With it, Haberrim is said to set anything alight, whether it be a building, a person, or a whole city. Haberrim is, by all accounts, a witty and intelligent demon who will answer all manner of questions truthfully and in good humor. But his tendency to destruction carries even into conversation. It is said that Haberrim delights in using his sharp tongue to cut down those who summon him, and their friends and foes alike. Just like the fire he wields, Haberrim's wit does not care what it destroys. It only wants more fuel. Sounds to me a little bit like fire signs, right? I'm kind of joking because I know there's at least one fire sign watching right now. I feel like that's very relatable to me. I have a very sharp tongue. Even in my readings, I got thumbs down this week on a couple of my videos because I was probably just being an asshole and somebody didn't like it, right? I got a sharp tongue. And I don't care what it destroys for the most part. It's something I'm working on, but maybe we all need to work on that, right? Beware of sharp wit and cunning becoming a destructive force if not tempered with consideration. Working on it, right? Maybe don't say the first thing that comes to mind. Maybe take a second to pause and be like, I could probably say this better. Especially if you are in a situation where you work a professional job. I mean, all jobs are professions, right? But like office setting, and you deal with HR. Or some shit, right? And you're like talking to someone and they say something and you just like, your first reaction is to say something assholey. I can't think of I don't work in offices. What's not allowed? The service industry is so different. We don't have HR. What? Anyway, I'm sure corporate restaurants do, but you get what I mean. I'm unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, but think twice before you just sort of react, before you just blurt out whatever you're thinking in response to what this person tells you. They might be trusting you with certain information and you break their trust in that moment you open your mouth. You might cross a line and say something that they deem inappropriate. You just got to watch out for your own uncensored, unfiltered, unadulterated speech hurts somebody. Okay. But we are talking about work here because that's demons. I pull them to ask advice for work, careers, wealth, and finances. I don't like to get demons in my affairs in anything that isn't inherently rooted in evil, right? So when it comes to work, which is why I brought up the situation in the office when you have to deal with HR as the consequences, because we might not see the consequences of saying the wrong thing to someone we love or someone in our personal life, because they might know us well enough to be like, oh, that's just lulz. Most of my friends have pretty thick skin because they know I'm going to say some shit, right? That's exactly why I don't work in offices, though, because I don't want to have to go take a little visit to HR, right? Because I said something stupid. So just watch that at work. Be careful who you're talking to. Be mindful of who you're talking to, and think twice about what you're really saying and whether or not it's necessary for you to say it, right? Moving right along, we have the Skull of Stars, Infinite Possibilities. Going back to 1111, right? This is like an open portal situation. This is the beginning, or as mentioned, the opening, right? And so we are calling in, we are walking forward, we're moving towards it. And it's really up to us or up to you to decide what is going to transpire from this energy and in this time. So 1111 also represents luck, right? 1111, make a wish. Been doing it since we were kids. So remember that luck is on your side. I have a little lucky horseshoe here. And remember that this world is like, they're saying, go with box of chocolate. Classic Forrest Gump. I saw a movie like one time. I wasn't that into it. But it is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But here's the thing about that, right? A box of chocolate, you maybe not back then in Forrest Gump days, but these days, you definitely know what you're going to get. Well, I guess you don't know until you open the box, but they give you the flavors, right? So think of it like that, okay? Life is the box of chocolate. You're born and you don't know what you're going to become. Nobody's opened that box yet, right? You haven't gotten to it. You know it's going to be chocolate, but you don't know what kind of chocolate. But then you open the box and you see a list. And this is where, okay, so the box of chocolate is your Skull of Stars. And that list of the different kinds of chocolate, your mousse and your coconut and your cherry and your caramel, whatever kind of chocolate's in there, that's your infinite possibilities. All right. So life is like a box of chocolates, but you kind of do know what you're going to get. You kind of know what your options are. I mean, sure, you could wake up one day and be like, I'm going to become a doctor. But if you have a phobia of needles, you probably won't become a doctor, Maybe that was a bad example. I don't know how often doctors use needles as much as nurses use needles, but you get the point. I'm going to wake up and be like, I want to be Joe Exotic. It's like, yeah, well, you can't afford a tiger. So you kind of have like a slightly realistic idea of what this box of chocolates is going to contain. Because for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be like, I want to work in a coffee shop. I have experience working in coffee shops. That is one of my possibilities for sure. And shit. If you really, you got a shaky hand, you're like, I want to be a tattoo artist. It might be hard, but yeah, I'm sure you could overcome those challenges if you were really dedicated, because it's infinite possibilities. But life is like a box of chocolate in the sense that you may not know what you're going to get, but you find out before you got to pick. You don't know what you're going to look like. You don't know what skills you'll have. You don't know what talents you are when you're born. But as you grow and as you develop as a human being, you start to see your strengths, see your weaknesses, right? I don't know why I'm stuck on this chocolate thing. It was their idea. It was definitely a channeled message, but then they just abandoned me with it. Like, just freestyle about them. Like, all right, let's overanalyze a box of fucking chocolate. Okay, so we did. But I think it holds up. I think it works well, right? Right? Little baby soul is wrapped up box of chocolate straight from the store given to you by your parents. Here you go, sweetie. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy birthday. Whatever the narrative is, right? Go with it. Go with it. So I think I'm done with the box of chocolate thing. I'm going to just kind of tap in and see if there's any other channeled messages, because I even said before, I just heard my ear go off. I said before I got here that I was probably going to do channeled messages on YouTube, because I haven't at all tonight. So let's just see what comes up if I just tap in real quick. Justice again. We are your friends. You'll never be alone again. Okay. So we got owl, wise seeing, wise action. And we got apple, risk and reward. Okay. Love this combination for a couple reasons. Okay, so I'm going to confession. I never really liked owls. Okay. I did, as a kid, sure, they were fine. I never really resonated with them. But growing up, my grandma, who is my absolute queen, always said to me, owls are bad luck. And most people say owls are good luck. So I'm like, sure, Grandma, I believe you. Can't convince anyone else of it. But yeah, I support that, right? Turns out in a Mayan calendar, maybe, I'm an owl. And I just thought that was my grandma's roundabout way of telling me I'm bad luck. Of course, I doubt she knows that that's the case, but it is a funny thought, isn't it? But the owl, wise seeking, wise action, okay? As you observe the world around you, which inevitably is chaotic, you have to decide what's going to be your best move. Okay, you have to operate as your own person in a system much larger than you can personally imagine. Okay, we understand a business, we understand corporate, we understand the government. But once you start getting past that point, sure, there's the UN would be bigger than the government, right? There's, I'm not even going to get into it, but there's so many beings out there. There's such a hierarchy that we don't even know about. And it's almost like we're at the bottom of a pyramid, right? But it's not really a pyramid because it's a sphere. Again, I'm really not here to get into it. You have to observe the world around you, and you have to decide how you're best going to work with it. Because you may have a choice of what chocolate you're going to eat, but you're eating the chocolate in the same place, right? That's one thing we don't really, I mean, maybe we decide it in the spiritual realm and we're like, we're going to be born here for this reason at this time or whatever, but we don't consciously choose where we're at to start. We're not just like, knock, knock. Hey, Mom, I'm ready to come out of the womb. Can you go to here and here? I mean, maybe some kids are woke as shit and they do that to their fucking poor pregnant mothers, right? But most of us don't choose where we're born, okay? And that's one of those circumstances that maybe affects us, our environment, okay? Some people use their environment as an excuse, but all you need to do right now is observe that environment. You have to see things for what it's worth, see what's around you, and see what you can do, not only to interact with it, but to become a part of it. Sure, you can hate where you're at, and you can want to stay at home and be a recluse. Or you can embrace it, and you can get to know it, and you can see the benefits, and you can figure out a way that you can be a part of it, right? And then we got apple, risk and reward. So once you see things for what it's worth, once you see yourself into a situation, then you go ahead and take a bite of that chocolate, right? Take a bite. Risk and reward. It might be fucking disgusting. I hate those cherry chocolates. You know, it could have been one of those things where the label isn't what you thought it was in the box, and you're like, oh man, it's going to be dark chocolate and coconut. I love this right now. And you bite into it, and it's fucking maraschino cherry, and there's juice everywhere. And please, hate that. Risk and reward. Okay. Once you choose something, it's like, ooh, I'm going to get a lot out of this. I'm going for it. I want the gold, and I'm going to work hard until I get a hold of it. The reward is always there, but the risk, we tend to ignore. What are you sacrificing all those sleepless nights that you work? Maybe rest. What are you sacrificing by not being home all the time? Family. Or sacrificing by being home all the time? Social life, right? There's always a risk of losing something, damaging something, I already said losing, but losing something or just losing, like a failure, right? Risk and reward. I think we're mighty focused on the rewards, and we don't often think about the risks. It's also a balance, because you don't want to think about the risks too much, because then you'll be manifesting that into your life, right? And you want to manifest the rewards for sure. But it's good to stay realistic, I think. Let me see if there's any other channeled messages. Get creative. Have fun. The dog days have just begun. The reckoning 2020. The awakening 2021. It won't be over until it's done. I'm hearing flashing lights. Okay. And the thing is, I'm listening and waiting for them to say something else, because I'm just like, no, I'm not going to say flashing lights. What is that in curating for us? You know who has flashing lights? Nobody you want to see. Nobody you want to see, right? Come on. We don't like flashing lights. Pretty big fan of strobe lights, though. Okay, yeah, but no. Okay. I hear you, fire department. But you don't want there to be a fire. So, it's cool that they show up and we like them. But we don't want that, because we don't want the fire. Same with the ambulance. Oh, thank God the ambulance showed up. But, oh, man, we don't want to need an ambulance. So I don't know what this flashing lights is. But they said, I heard flashing lights. And then I heard the song. Flashing lights. I don't even really know what that is. It's just stuck in my head now. And I'm kind of wondering, they definitely are encouraging me to speak from the heart rather than speak from spirit. And so I'm trying to work with them. They're sort of giving me stuff to talk about, but they're not telling me what to say. I'm feeling like it's an alien connection more than a soul connection or dead person connection. It's usually who I'm talking to is dead people and aliens. Sometimes other living humans, but more often it's dead people or aliens if it's not Satan himself. So, flashing lights, right? I know for me, granted, yeah, I fucking smoke weed. What are you going to do about it? Tell me to quit? I tell you to shut up, bitch. No, if you told me to quit smoking weed, I probably wouldn't cuss at you, but I do smoke. And I accept that it's technically a hallucinogenic drug. I use it as a means of medicinal care, but it's technically a hallucinogenic drug. I don't smoke that much. I reserve it for nightfall. But I guess I'm disclaiming that because what I'm getting at is that sometimes, especially this time of year, I do see flashing lights. And I'm not talking about fucking sirens. We already nixed that in the butt. Is that what it is? We don't want siren types. We're avoiding sirens. But flashing lights, okay, I'll see little orbs fly by sometimes. I'll see electric waves sometimes, and they're like light up. I'll see kind of like holes in my own fabric of reality right before my very eyes. I've never seen the movie, but just the concept of a matrix, like a grid, right? It's almost like we're enclosed in that. And not that it's a simulation being projected, but imagine if it was, and imagine just like little glitches, okay? If you're open to it, and if you are paying attention to it, you might also notice, as I notice, you see these little glitches, these little shimmers of light, these little flashes, okay, just in your everyday life. It's not necessarily a message, but it might be, now that they bring it up, it might be somebody trying to get your attention. Okay, which I didn't know. I just thought I was just fucking seeing shit. I accepted it a long time ago. A year ago, it was really, really extreme how much light I could see. It was like too much. It was very bad. Someday I may tell you about it. Who knows? But now that I know, I gotta turn my charge on. Now that I understand what it is a lot better, right? I can handle it, and it doesn't overtake me. Okay, it doesn't like cloud my judgment. It doesn't pull me away from actual reality, right? It's simply just there. And for me, especially now, I'm trying to learn more about it, ask more questions, give it some time, think about what it might be. Electricity is around us all the time. And technically, everything is just atoms moving really fast, right? And so you might just have some kind of like, it's almost like a superpower. You just see it slow down and you see those gaps, right? That's like the best way I could describe it. But energy in itself is everywhere, and it's chaotic as hell, right? That's just the nature of the universe, the ever-expanding universe. That, God, I just hate how people are like, it's a fact. It's kind of not, though. We've had no way to confirm any theory that we've come up with, no matter how backed it is by science, no matter how long it's been truth, right? It's still in the beholder of the human eye and the human mind, okay? And so we got into this on Instagram, I'm pretty sure, about 5D and 3D being present at the same time and being totally different. Because everything in 5D is starting to come together, work out, reveal itself. It's very positive. I spend most of my time in 5D. It didn't really hit me until October, because the veil starts to thin. And that's when you start getting messages, you start talking to people, you're feeling the demons, you're seeing the dead. Sure, that's me all day, all October. November is when it's like, whoa, veil's gone. Now I'm seeing the energy. Now I'm seeing electricity. Now I'm seeing all this extra stuff in the emptiness, in the space around us, right? Where it goes from very human identities, very human, not identity, but not figures, but something between identity and figures, humanoids, right? To just the abstract nothingness in between, but also shared energy, because it's like moving in and around us at all times. And I guess the reason I brought up fact and theory is, again, like, it's all just what the human mind can perceive. So if you allow yourself to open up and you allow yourself to enter the 5D in a real way, where you don't just think of it as fantasy, and you don't just think that it's even like schizophrenia. It can be real scary when you're like hearing too much, right? And I've been like, I need mental help. And it's like, well, okay, now I'm learning how to use my gifts. It's maybe not that all the time. It could be both. They can coexist simultaneously. I'm still in therapy, even though I do tarot. Come on. But November, I pretty much exist only in the 5D. Like, I am barely here in the 3D. I'm obviously alive and taking care of myself. I'm eating and drinking water and I'm sleeping, but I'm resting a lot because I'm up in my head pretty much 24/7. And I feel like a lot of people attribute the lack of the veil to things like seasonal depression, right? Are you depressed, or is your spiritual higher self not being fulfilled and trying to get through to you and trying to talk to you, right? No, some people might actually have seasonal depression. I'm not fucking counting out mental illness. I'm just saying could help to listen and to open up and to open yourself, open your mind, open your heart, open your chakras. A year ago, I was learning all sorts of stuff that someday I hope I'll be able to talk about. But right now I can't. And some people might know exactly what I mean when I say that shit. But others, it's coming in hot, basically. It's 2021. Do you know what they call kids who were born in 2013 and on? They're called Alpha Gen, right? They're like superhumans, because I feel like we observe evolution in nature and in animals and even plants, right? But we very rarely discuss or give time to evolution in humans anymore. We sort of think of it as almost like this jump of like early human, what are they called? Neanderthals. Neanderthals? That doesn't sound right. Neanderthals. That's way wrong. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. Lucy and shit, right? We're like, humans were this, now they're this. It's like, oh yeah, cool. But what about each step of the way that got us from Lucy to Lolly, right? Every single person, every single ancestor, every single generation made small little changes to get us here. And I think we just think of it as these big jumps, like one day it was born that way. And it's like, no, we're just picking an image here, an image here, an image here, an image here. So right now we're living in this existence where our grandparents are the most recent image in a history book, right? But then their kids, okay, so our parents, and then their kids, us, and then like our kids, I never have no kids, our kids, these 2013 babies, right? These are two different pictures, whether you see it physically or not, which arguably you can see it physically. People in this day and age look different than they did 100 years ago. Granted, genetics and, genetics, it's the whole discussion. But just geography was the word I was actually looking for. Moving around, mixing things up. A lot has changed socially to invoke different and new breeding patterns, right? Technology, science, all of it had influence. So you could argue that you would see it physically. Appendixes, some people don't get them. Wisdom teeth, some people don't get them. Some shit's going out of style. That thing on your wrist, right? Not everybody has that. You know what I'm talking about? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to check your wrist and be like, there's nothing there. And you're one of the people who don't have it. Okay. It used to be for climbing trees and swinging from tree to tree because we come from monkeys, right? Whatever it's called, that tendon there. Okay. So there's like these little things. Why, for 1 second, would you think that the human mind and the human brain and even like emotions in general aren't also evolving in the same way that bodies do? Cavemen make fire. 28-year-old girl uses computer to go live on the internet, right? Different mindsets, different brains, okay? So I don't really know what I'm getting at. It felt like an important message to get across is to remember evolution in humans, generation to generation. Okay. Don't count these kids out, man. We can learn from them. They probably know a lot more than us. And I honestly, the more time I spend with them, the more I think they communicate differently. And I think they are very less vocal than most humans have ever been. So if you're dealing with a child in 2020, that's like my only advice is listen for real. Like just tune in. Okay. These alpha gen, man, it's crazy. But yeah, so it's the evolution of man, right? Things are inevitably going to be different on the outside if things are changing on the inside, and vice versa. Did technology influence maybe the way our brains process things? Are we quicker and smarter, just like the things that we've created? Personally, I don't know. I feel dumber than ever, right? But others, it could be a little calculator brain. You know what I mean? Maybe. Kind of go on tangents sometimes. Neanderthal. That's probably not what I was saying earlier, right? Neanderthal. So just remember, we're always evolving, and try to embrace that evolution and recognize that evolution in yourself. Allow yourself to be a part of that process and to recognize that even if you're looking at a timeline of 100 years and seeing the difference in evolution among each generation, also think about how many evolutions you go through in a lifetime, because you're living decades, and even each decade has its own vibe, really. There's like so many things I could have said just now that define decades, like time, but I said vibes. So you're even evolving as you are dying, which is to be living, right? So never stop. Always stay open to the fact that you may not fully know or be aware of how the world works within you or around you. I think a lot of the world around us is more in us than people think it is. And therefore, we do control a lot more than we give ourselves credit for. And it's very important that you work super hard on making your mind an impenetrable fortress, okay? And protect it, because it is worth your life, right? You need to stay in your manifestation. You need to stay in your abundance, stay in your positivity, stay in your peace, right? Oh, I was going to say something, and then it just totally like, poof. Stay in your peace and embrace the chaos around you, because it becomes chaos within you. And that's true alchemy, is turning chaos into peace. Little channeling now, a little bit channeling. They're still not saying much though. And I'm like, what did I just ramble about Neanderthals for 20 minutes for? I'm not really sure. I hope somebody got a message out of that. I hope it was worth it to watch. I got 5 people watching. Like, thanks for sticking around, guys. Open up more. Open up your doors. Okay. The battle is already won, and yet it has not been fought. Okay. We will go into more detail about that as the time goes on. I have a lot coming. This war is not fought with guns. They are trying to scare you into thinking there's going to be a physical altercation to indicate something starting. They have everyone having everyone brace themselves for a physical war, because it keeps their opponents, us, the opponents, open for strike. It's a spiritual war, and it will be fought in the mind. Okay? Illuminati mistakes, if you didn't catch it, all right? Lots of conspiracy going on with me. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. Salt is used for protection. Take a grain. Okay? Take a grain, leave a grain. Protect you, protect me. But we need to protect ourselves spiritually. There is a lot of physical war going on right now. There is war. We've been at war. We've been attacking the Middle East for ages. There's war in other countries too. And the war here is being fought. Well, we try not to get political, but we know what the war here is. And just because it's not military versus military doesn't mean it's not a war outside, right? Especially for some more than others. Okay? And we all are catching my drift. But the reason that there's so much of that going on in front of us is because they're actually at war from the inside. They control our minds, right? I don't know why this is all coming up. They're like, do it. 11/11, make a wish. I wish things were better. I mean, quite simply, I wish things were better for everyone. And of course, are they better for me than they were a year ago? Yes. But I want them to be better for everyone. And I want you to also want that for your fellow man, for your fellow woman, for your brothers and sisters. We need to work together to consciously create the world that we want to live in. They want us to live in a war of divide and war and starvation. Who wants to live like that? Only people who are making profit. Only people who are very broken. Okay? This is a time of healing, right? The world may get very much more sick in the upcoming months. But the reason we are getting sick is so that we can heal. All right? We want to heal. But if there's no ailment, what are you healing? We have the cure for what? Good love. Yeah, you got to have come full circle. Good love. We are building. We are creating. And when they control the narrative, we hate the outcome. So, just something to keep in mind, everything you consume, in every possible way you can consume it, through your eyes, through your ears, through your mouth, through your nose. And you're like, nose? Controlling the way we smell? Yeah, well, I like gasoline. I like chemical smells. I go in phases of like borderline huffing the shit because I'm like addicted to chemicals. I don't know. Could be like a vitamin deficiency. I don't do it anymore. It's not a problem. It's not that out of control. I don't know why I just confessed that on YouTube Live. Cool. Love that for me. But it's midnight, so I hope you're happy. Okay. I was going to stop at midnight because it's not 11:11 anymore. And I ended on a note of, I like sniffing chemicals. So again, it's a shit show all the time. Illuminati mistakes. Good nights, goodbye, good luck. Much love. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you again. Are you sure you want to end your stream? Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm very much in spirit. I'll say not yet. I did want to wrap this up and be done at midnight. I feel like I need a better final message. So we called in our own success. We're being ourselves. We're getting our egos in check. We are aligning with our own purposes. We're aligning with each other. We are co-creating, collaborating, and we are ushering in a new world to begin. 2021 is going to be full of fun if we survive 2020. Right? Not everybody did and not everybody will. So keep praying for yourselves. All right. I'll stay till 12:12. Is that too long? I don't know if I have 12 minutes of material left in me. I just didn't want to leave it on a I sniff chemicals note. That just didn't feel like the right vibe, you know. So bad. That's the thing. When you do what I do, you end up just talking, you just say shit. And it's like, why did that come up? But maybe someone else out there is like, oh, fuck, sounds like me. I guess to go back to the thought that came up from is they are getting in what you put in your hair, what you put on your skin, what you put in you, ladies, bleached tampons. What's up with that? Do yourself a favor and switch to the Diva Cup. It's hard to get used to, but it's totally worth it, and it's way better for the environment. Okay, just wanted to throw that out there. No, I mean, we are so focused on what they show us or what they do to us, even if you are on the front lines of this war, if you are in the 3D war with them, that it puts our walls down, and it makes it way easier for them to get in to our 5D realities, fuck shit up, change things, do what they want, and then we manifest it for them because they already got in and we didn't even know it because we weren't guarding ourselves. We weren't paying attention. We were just watching TV or we were just listening to the radio, right? What's up with the whole frequency thing? Huh? You go on YouTube, you go meditation music, and it's like 999 hertz. I don't know. But the radio's like 43 or something. Like, they do that shit on purpose. It's very intentional. And I don't think this is new information. And I don't think what I'm saying is like shocking or never been said before. It's just a reminder coming through from a different view. Okay. So all I'm saying is you are mentally preparing for a physical war, and you are maybe even physically preparing for like apocalyptic times, but you don't even know what it's like on the inside. No matter how happy you might be in your personal life and how secure and healthy you are mentally, it is a whole war. So if you are good on a personal level, maybe check into the spirit realm to spread some of your wellness and some of your goodness and some of your health if you have it to spare. That's what I said. I don't remember what video it was tonight. I was talking about how sometimes I'll get a feeling in my head, and it's either somebody coming in to talk to me or it's me needing to release some energy. It's almost like, okay, I am supercharged. It's like going Super Saiyan. And I just imagine beams of light radiating from my head. And then I imagine those beams growing all throughout my body. And then they overtake the space that I'm sitting in, and they overtake the city I stay in. And then all of a sudden it's bigger and bigger until I just imagine the whole world beaming light. Okay, so try it. Next time you got a lot of rest, you got a little headache, instead of intaking, right? If you need a fucking ibuprofen, you need a fucking ibuprofen, all right? I'm not going to be like, give up all things ever. Like, no, you obviously still need stuff. I just took a shit ton of vitamins before I did this. Maybe that's why I feel so great. I haven't taken vitamins in fucking weeks, but hey, at least I do it once in a while. But if you do have those little like tingling sensations, sometimes they can be annoying. They irritate me. They don't hurt, but I just get annoyed because I just assume, oh, somebody wants to talk to me, and then I don't hear anything. And I'm like, well, why does my head still feel like this? And it's literally that I just have so much energy and so much electricity and so much magnitude inside me that it needs to come out. Okay. And that's how we build our 5D. You want to build it with light, right? It's already darkness. And so you need to be the light. And I am not a love and light person. Satanic. Don't get it twisted. This is Aleister Crowley. This is demons. This is Halloween. I'm not all love and light. I'm very much both, right? But if we do want to survive as humans on this planet, we need to work together and help each other and understand truly, wholly, and for real that this is going on, right? And I'm not accusing any specific group or any specific people. Could maybe not even be people, and it's more like angels and demons or like alien races that we don't know about, and whoever accesses or whoever controls the 5D, we don't know much about it. I mean, I caught wind of it probably 7 years ago was the first time someone ever mentioned 5D to me, and I never really looked into it, but more recently it's been clicking for me. So maybe some other people are also going through that and having those feelings and feeling those changes. But it is very real. And the more you're aware of it, the more that you can contribute to it and not control it, because it's ultimately still chaos, but it's about performing that alchemy within you. Because the more that you help yourself, you can help others, right? And it's great if you start by imagining the light within you and you work your way up to the light around you. Okay. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm still working on conveying the things like that are pretty fairly new for me. Really didn't come up until basically exactly a year ago, right? It's that kind of vibe. It is that kind of vibe. So yeah, just stay vigilant. Stay vigilant and maybe question what you are consuming. Maybe take a break from the radio, turn off the Netflix. I binged watched the fuck out of every TV show I could ever have interest in, all spring and summer. And then I kind of got into movies for a second. And now I just can't even watch anything but tarot videos and music videos and stuff. I became a lot more sensitive. Once you stop, well, no, I shouldn't speak for anyone. I don't think it's necessarily easy for people to break habits. But for me, once I stop doing something, I just don't really think to keep doing it or to go back to it. I have a naturally pretty non-addictive personality. But if you have a more addictive personality, then you might need to actively and consciously work at those things more than allowing them to happen naturally, like it did for me, where I chilled out on the TV shows and I watched a couple movies, but I couldn't really think of anything. And now I just don't even know why I still have Hulu, but you have to be really careful with what you consume. And we also want to be supportive of each other. And so might as well check out your friend's indie film or listen to your coworker's new album or, whatever. Let's lift each other up. Okay, that's been another theme of the night. Me and Miss Jupiter kind of went in depth about that in the Instagram live. If you want to check it out, Illy Millie. Now is really the time to recognize the creation in us and the power in us and giving ourselves that little bit of control that we can have by being present, not only for us, but for and with others. Okay. Any final thoughts? Justice again. We are your friends. You'll never be alone again. I think the aliens like techno. I was reading cards on before Halloween. And some song was Pump the Jam or something came up, and it was this really young guy, and he was just what? He barely knows the song, definitely not into it. It's just very funny. The aliens like techno, which you, of course, if you had to stereotype an alien to any type of music, who wouldn't choose techno for aliens, right? The aliens like techno. Any other? They're saying I did well, but next time I need to discuss hell. Okay, so I'm working on something. It's going to probably take me a long time to actually complete it or figure out how to release it. But the next time maybe that I go live. I don't know what the plan is, but they're telling me like now's the time to talk about it. So I made it to 12:11, and I think that's a good place to end it. Started at 11:11, ended at 12:12. So thank you all for tuning in. You can go check out the other videos, Illy Milly on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Obviously, you're already on YouTube. If you want to discuss anything further, you can go to any of my accounts and send me a message. I don't mind talking a little bit. Oh, Zach, I didn't know you were here. Thanks for tuning in. Dude, that's like, yeah, seeing you again. This is sort of the direction that I was meant to move in, hence the rebrand, right? This is not Taurus Does Tarot. This is Illuminati Mystics. Anyways, I did my best. I hope it helped. Get some rest. Drink some water. Can't even think of another rhyme. Good night.